if you didn't achieve your goals, objectives, and desires and dreams so far in your life, or maybe some of them, but maybe not all of them, the question is why not?
We believe that we are actually running our lives with our desires and our wishes and what we want from life. And yet we are now beginning to find out that those beliefs are not running the show. It's the programs in the subconscious mind that run the show. And since we're generally unaware of these programs when they're automatically playing, hence the name unconscious mind, we rarely see that it is our own behaviors that are limiting us.
There is a certain part of our experience that is conscious. A lot of studies have shown that essentially they say we have 7 plus or minus 2 things that can be in conscious awareness at any time. The rest is like the bottom of an iceberg. It's unconscious. Most of our lives are determined by, quote, unconscious programming, programs that might go all the way back to when we were children. 2, 3 years old. In fact, some of the most powerful ones were the ones that that were established back then.
Beliefs have the power to create and the power to destroy.
There's some seeds that have been planted in the subconscious mind that may have told us what we cannot do and what we can do. Now, the truth of the matter is that many of us walk through the world unconsciously, not aware of the conditioning and the programming that we've had.
There are 2 parts to the mind that influence our lives. There's the conscious part and the unconscious part.
The unconscious mind is not anything that's mysterious. It's not anything that is, in spite of what Freud said, evil or nasty. Really, the unconscious mind is the part of our mind that we're not conscious of. Your unconscious mind is also the part of you that's in charge of your memories. So it stores your memories. It's part of how you know that you're you.
The supporting mind, the subconscious mind, is essentially the equivalent of a record playback device. It records experiences and learns behavior, and at the push of a button can play those behaviors back.
Your subconscious mind is the hard drive of your life, and it is given the information, programmed, if you want, when you're a youth, when you're a child, either by the treatment or the information that you consistently get.
During our developmental period, which is from fetal development through age 5, our brain is in a specific state of activity called a hypnagogic trance. Essentially, our brain is downloading information about the environment and putting it in as programs into the subconscious mind.
This hard drive is programmed with some core beliefs. And if the core belief is I'm a failure, if the core belief is I'm not valuable, I'm not powerful in my own life, that will be embedded in your subconscious mind. And as you grow up, you may not even think in those terms word for word, but your entire belief system and your thoughts will be filtered through those understandings of yourself, your place in the world, and your power in your own life.
When we have an experience where something triggers that subconscious pattern that's been buried in our mind, our body and our life respond as if it's experiencing that moment for the very first time.
Even though we acquired learning of new experiences back when we were 3, 4, or 5 years of age, it doesn't make a difference if you're 50 or 60 years of age. Those programs are playing actively in the subconscious mind as present tense programs.
Our behavior is unconscious. When we react to something, we don't think first, oh, I'm going to do this or that. We react, and then we think, oh, I reacted that way.
Where do you get these programs from? And the answer is you download them from your parents, your siblings, your community that you're growing up in.
We come into the world and we're taught what to pay attention to. That's really what our conditioning and programming in life is about. We drop into these families and they tell us what's important in the world.
So people are used to listening to these negative messages to themselves that may have come about from a fearful parent or a fearful teacher.
The truth is that the conditioning and the programming that we have gotten from birth, within our family circle, within our culture, within our community, does not define who we are.
Much of what we come to believe we are, to think we are, is not who we are.
Sometimes what you believe isn't true. You believe you have to get more sleep. You believe you have to do X, Y, and Z, or be connected, or have a PhD in order to achieve your goals. And the point is, none of that's true.
People come to study with me and they often say, Julia, I don't have a creative bone in my body, but I've been teaching for 25 years now, and I have yet to meet a person who isn't creative in some way.
Perception is not a fact, but a mirror. It is our state of mind projected outwards.
Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one.
You know, we have this belief that just because we have a thought means that it's true. Silly. Just because you have a thought doesn't mean that it's true. It's very important to learn to question your thoughts.
I have people do an exercise where I ask them to write out the reason I can't be a brilliant and prolific creative artist is, and they will find that they have lots of irrational thoughts related to being an artist. And so when we get people to look at these subconscious beliefs, people begin to say, oh, that's sort of silly. That's not true.
If you're in a negative emotion, if you feel fear, anxiety, depression, that is your body's way of telling you you're in a belief or in a thought system that is dishonoring to you, that is agitating to you. All you have to do is stop and think about, okay, what am I making this mean?
Sometimes we don't even make beliefs based on our thoughts. We are picking up beliefs from others without even really consciously doing it. Our beliefs often are beliefs of other people's.
Most of us live in belief systems. It's the water that we're swimming in.
We have all these belief systems that tell us what we can and can't do.
A belief really creates a certain focus for our thinking. It shapes our thinking, and of course then our thinking shapes our behavior.
Belief is not just an idea, it also has a neurological aspect. As we say, it gets in the muscle. We have a cognitive mind, but there's also a somatic mind, and beliefs are kind of where those two things meet. So empowering beliefs are what allow us to create reality, to create things that don't yet exist.
Healing is an effect of changing beliefs. Change the mind, change the body.
The placebo effect is a good example of how a belief in something can create an actual physical effect.
The placebo effect is an improvement in health due not to any treatment, but only to a person's belief that he or she will get better. Pharmaceutical drugs are routinely tested against the placebo effect to gauge the drug's effectiveness. According to medical research, the placebo effect occurs over 40% of the time.
In other words, like, if you're thinking positively, it will affect the structure of your brain in one way, and if you're thinking negatively, it will affect the structure of your brain in another way, and therefore you have different effects all throughout the cells of your body.
Our bodies are composed of over 75% water. There is a strong connection between the quality of our lives and the quality of the water which makes up our bodies. Japanese researcher Masaru Emoto conducted extensive experiments on water around the world. He documented how the energy vibrations in the water's environment can affect the molecular structure of the water. By freezing water samples and then taking pictures of the frozen crystals with a dark field microscope, he found that certain bodies of water formed the most beautiful crystalline structures. While others caused the molecular structure to break down. In a similar experiment, he discovered that the energy vibrations of thoughts and words can also cause significant changes to the structure of water. By directing written and spoken words towards water samples, freezing the samples, and then taking photographs of the crystals, he found that negative thoughts and words directed at water destroyed the water crystals, causing them to break down. While positive thoughts and words, such as love and gratitude, cause the most beautiful crystal clusters to form. Dr. Emoto's work provides evidence that thoughts and words affect the molecular structure of the water in our bodies.
Because our bodies are 75 to 90% water, everything that we think, everything that we feel, all the experiences of our life, the music that we listen to, have an impact on the molecular structure of the water that makes up our body.
We have to be very careful with what we think, how we feel, because our thoughts and feelings are always being converted into chemicals in our body all day long.
For example, if you're thinking about something that you love, then that could be actually affecting cells in your heart. If you're thinking of stuff that makes you stressed, for example, then you might be having structural changes in cells in your liver. So these thoughts are actually stored biochemically and at the cellular level all throughout your body.
The nocebo effect is the opposite of the placebo effect. The nocebo effect is a decrease in health due to a person's thoughts and beliefs.
The nocebo effect is exactly the same as the placebo effect, but in the opposite direction, meaning as much as a positive thought can be used to invoke healing, a negative thought can actually cause disease and death.
So our beliefs determine our relationship with everything else in the world. I mean, one of the examples where I really experienced the power of belief was in coaching my mother, who had a recurrence of metastatic breast cancer. She'd had cancer once and it came back, and it was at what's called stage 5, and there's no stage 6. And she was basically told she had several months to live. She didn't feel like there was any future. So how do you coach somebody in that situation? By helping her to find where, first become in touch with those limiting beliefs, find out where they were, and then transform those into empowering beliefs. I remember she used to say that when that first happened, it was the worst thing that ever happened to her. 10 years later, when she was still very much alive, had a remarkable recovery because she had shifted many things inside of her. It shifted her her own programming. She would look back at that time and say, that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
What are the limiting beliefs? They are the conditioned ideas, false ideas that the world tells us about, that we can't do certain things, that if you're a certain gender, there are things you can't do. If you're a certain ethnicity, there are things that you can't do, things that you're expected to do, things that you're not expected to do. All of those things are really made up things.
How would you identify what is a negative thought that I have? What is a limiting belief that I have about me, about my capabilities, and also about the world around me, about the loved ones in my family, about my business, about my finances, about my health?
I think to get clear on what your limiting beliefs are, I think what you have to do, first of all, is you have to look at what you can accomplish and what you can't accomplish. Notice those things that you succeeded at and notice those things you didn't succeed at, and ask yourself, what do I believe about that? That's probably a really good way to get clear on what's going on up here.
The classic signs of limiting beliefs are hopelessness, helplessness, worthlessness. So when people feel hopeless, comes from the limiting belief that something isn't possible. It's hopeless. If somebody feels helpless, even if something is possible, what they're going to sense is it may be possible, but I am not capable. And worthlessness means I don't deserve it. It's actually a limiting belief about myself, my identity.
Like maybe you'd rather make more money, but you have a belief of no one in our family ever did, so I can't. Or maybe you want to get into a great relationship, but you believe I've never been in a great relationship, so how could I possibly do it?
Human beings need beliefs to survive, but most of us have dysfunctional beliefs.
We will act consistently with our view of who we truly are, whether that view is accurate or not.
Limiting beliefs stop us from using the capabilities that we actually have.
And where's your belief system formed? It's formed in your subconscious mind. And you may not be aware of the core beliefs that you're carrying with you, but they are intrinsic to your destiny creation.
Many people get stuck because their subconscious thoughts are not in alignment with what they're consciously wanting.
The problem is that everything at the unconscious level which is not complete, that means it's unresolved. That means there's more to do or say about it. Anything which is not complete can be brought up by the unconscious mind to have you work on it, and that's the problem with positive thinking. The problem with positive thinking is that we try to think positively, but then if there's something unresolved at the unconscious level regarding that, it'll come up in our face and we'll have to go, oh no.
A lot of people say, just go around and say what you want to create. Like, I'm a millionaire and I'm valuable and I'm powerful. But if your subconscious mind is deeply indoctrinated in the total opposite of that statement, it's going to resist. In fact, it's going to say to you, who are you kidding? You're not valuable, you're not powerful.
I remember when I wanted to change my beliefs about prosperity. So I went out and I bought some books. For 2 years, I said to myself, everything and everybody prospers me now. And that's about how much... It's a very good affirmation. I think it took me about 2 years to consciously change that belief. Now, I could have done it much more quickly. With the work we do, we can change beliefs in a matter of about 10 minutes. So what's the difference? The difference is that a conscious belief, even when we change it consciously, we say, I'm not going to believe that anymore. Our beliefs and our attitudes and our values are generally unconscious.
Stored unconsciously.
They're stored unconsciously, and so they affect us, and they come from the unconscious mind. And so the change needs to occur at the unconscious level for the change to be complete.
In many circles, especially as people have been talking about the law of attraction, people are told, you can have anything that you want, just, in some cases they say, fake it till you make it, act as if, and then it will happen. Well, if you do that and underneath it is a set of negative ideas and programming that you didn't even realize you had, then you get what you feel, not what you say, not what you think. So you can say all the affirmations in the world, you can say all the prayers, you can visualize and all of that, but if underneath it, the feeling tone that's underneath it is one of fear or a sense of impossibility, you get what you feel.
When your unconscious thoughts are things like, I'm not good enough to get what it is I'm hoping for, or I don't really deserve that. Those have a tremendous power to block or limit your ability to draw in what it is you want in your life.
We set a conscious goal and we have a conscious belief, but the unconscious beliefs can get in the way of that. And that's because they're not in alignment. They're not congruent. They're not essentially saying the same thing.
So in terms of if you want importance of conscious mind versus unconscious mind, guess who always wins?
Yeah, the unconscious mind
The
does.
unconscious mind always wins.
95% of the day, our life is being controlled by the perceptions and beliefs that are programmed in the subconscious mind.
We can become fully conscious and aware that the programming, the conditioning that our life experiences have given us do not define us. It's not who we are. It's how we learn to be.
Be aware of the words that you're using because they represent the thoughts that are streaming through your mind. Change your thought, change your life.
The language that we use internally and externally basically has a profound effect in all areas of our life.
We have 60,000 thoughts a day, and for the average person, 80% of those are negative.
When you change some of these patterns of your thinking, that it not only influences your language, it influences how you feel about your own capabilities.
And one of the things that I do and I recommend people do is to pay attention to their self-talk.
I'm a loser. You're out to get me. I'm so stupid. Be happy. I can't believe I did that job. I'm so lonely. I hate my job. I hate Nobody loves me. Life is hard. I hate my life. I'm a loser. He doesn't love me.
So all of our thoughts, feelings, words, and actions impact what it is we draw to us.
Well, your beliefs are critical in terms of your ability to manifest what it is you want in life, because you're going to manifest those things that are in accordance and alignment with your beliefs. If you believe it's difficult to make money, then you're going to have experience of being difficult to make money. If you believe it's easy to make money, you're going to create experiences where it's easy to make money.
How do you actually use the law of attraction? How do you attract something to you? And again, it's the unconscious mind.
Whatever you determine to be true in your subconscious becomes true for you.
If I'm planting seeds of thoughts of lack and limitation, and I'm wanting to be prosperous and to have abundance, the law works without fail. If I'm planting that seed of lack, I'm going to tend to experience lack in my life. And if that's not what I want, I get to dig up that seed and plant something else.
What's actually going on is you're attracting what you believe on an unconscious level. You're unconsciously saying, I want money, but I don't believe I'm going to get it. And what you're sending out is a signal of, I don't believe I'm going to get it. And the universe will say yes and not give you any money.
So if we have a hope or a dream and we dream about it often, we hope that it comes, we imagine it coming in and literally feel how great that would feel, then that is natural law, the law of attraction. That will come into our lives. But if we do not believe in that, it's like we block off the flow of that reality coming towards us. So our own beliefs that such a thing is not possible, or if we don't deserve such and such a thing, then we actually block the achievement of that reality.
Your life today is a printout of your subconscious mind. Whatever is not working likely is due to a program that will prevent you from getting what you want.
Those beliefs within you are the ones that are actually going out and creating the reality you have.
You can have anything you want if you will give up the belief that you can't have it.
A lot of what is influencing us is not going to be in our initial conscious thoughts.
So you have to dig a little deeper and see where these core beliefs that keep turning you back to the same issues, the same negative conclusions may be. And once you find them, you can reverse them and reverse what your consciousness will create.
Knowing that, you get to now choose. You get to choose differently. And in order to do that, you have to be aware of your thoughts, what you give your attention to most of the time.
Behind every behavior is a positive intention.
Behind every behavior is a positive intention. So first of all, rather than just trying to struggle with it, one of the things we say is that you actually will not change a belief by struggling with it. The first thing to do is to find out its positive intention. So even a limiting belief will be trying to do something for us, protect us.
See, a belief in and of itself, at least the way that I think about them, is all beliefs are the result of learning.
They have a role and they have something to teach us.
In the unconscious mind are going to be tremendous resources, what we call unconscious competences that we don't even know that we have, as well as the unconscious limitations. But we've got to find those limitations.
I think it's like peeling an onion, getting down to the core.
In order for you to be able to create everything you want in your universe, you're going to need to come to the cause side of the equation. And the cause side of the cause and effect equation says, I'm at cause. I'm the creator of everything that happens in my universe.
It doesn't mean I created everything consciously, because what we say is the sum total of your conscious and unconscious together.
Choices.
Conscious, unconscious choices, decisions, beliefs, attitudes, thoughts, behaviors, all of that packaged together put you where you are right now in your life.
Allowing yourself to investigate what you need to change is going to empower you way more than your denial of the negativity that's already there. You can deny your core belief negativity all you want. You still carry it in your cellular memory.
Taking responsibility for your beliefs and judgments gives you the power to change them.
There are unconscious beliefs that if we don't deal with them, if we don't embrace them, we're never going to be able to be manifesting what we focus on with our conscious mind.
It doesn't take years of therapy to change your subconscious mind. And here's the beauty of quantum physics. Even just a slight shift in consciousness can create huge results, amazing results in reality.
If any belief system is not useful to you, learning to give it up is extremely important for a creative person.
When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be.
What's of a positive nature that supports you? What's not supporting you? What's blocking you? Because ultimately, the blocks that you have prevent you from achieving your maximum potential.
When you start to become aware of these beliefs that are holding you back, you are now at choice to continue them or to let them go.
Choose beliefs that support you in having what you want. If you want to have money and you want to make it easily, then start believing and choosing to believe that it's easy to make money.
Go inwards and have fun on this experience and create the beliefs that are going to put you on the path that you most desire.
See, we believe that the core of who you are is a being of light, is a magnificent being, and it's all covered up and hidden behind the negative thoughts, emotions, beliefs that you accumulated from the past.
If you've got a limiting belief that you've had your whole life, it's going to run pretty strong. It's going to be a pretty strong force field. So you need some sort of a technique that will allow you to interact directly with the energy.
The reason I'm able to do what I do now and to have the cars, houses, income, fame, fortune, glory, whatever you want to call it, is that I've been working on myself a long time. I was homeless over 30 years ago. I was in poverty for the longest time when I lived in Houston. And people say, what was the one thing you did to get off the streets and get out of poverty? The only one thing I did was work on my beliefs.